Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to schedule events. Events can be seen in two areas here. Under the template, we have 3 scheduled events. That means that there's been 3 webinars run or about to run under this template format. To manage, just click on Manage, and that'll bring this into focus here, which is the webinar schedule. And I'll kind of explain how this works here. We have a webinar ID. This is automatically assigned when you save a new scheduled event. We have our start time, which is when the webinar starts, and the end time. The start time and end time is determined by the actual video length. So if your video length is 26 minutes, the start time and end time should only be 26 minutes apart, so maybe pad a few extra seconds. The number registered is how many went through your registration page for this particular one here. You can get that registration page by just simply clicking on the registration page, and this is what your customers will see. And they can enter their first name, last name, email address, and phone number. On submit, they get a confirmation email. And on the next page, if they are registering just before or during the webinar, they can actually access it from the next screen. They can also add it to their calendars, Google Calendar, YouTube, Yahoo, and all that good stuff on the next page. So let me jump back here. We have a replay page, which can be sent from your autoresponder. It could be Aweber or whatever you're using. This is the link that they're going to send them for the replay page. And you want to send that maybe a couple hours to a day to make it look like you guys are working on ripping the files or ripping the video from the live webinar, quote unquote. To preview, just click on the preview button. Now, here's the key with the preview is if you usually do this during the off hours of the webinar, you're probably going to get a message that looks something like this. So this kind of gives you some look into how your webinar is going to appear. If you want to get that feeling that a customer gets when he first gets into the waiting room, let's see, my time right now is it's almost 7 p.m. here. If I click on edit right here, and if I make this 7 o'clock, click on done, click on edit event. Now what's going to happen is, I think it's this one right here, I click on preview. Now you see we get into the waiting room. They get an introduction that's canned from our voice talent that we had create all the audio for the pre-webinar waiting room. And they will be able to see inside the waiting room the attendance growing while they're in there. When this hits the 0 point, it'll automatically refresh and go right into the webinar. And I'll wait here and we'll kind of see how that transition takes place. But you can, by setting that time and hitting preview, you'll be able to see at that exact moment when that person accessed the webinar. So if I set it 10 minutes in the past, you'll be able to see 10 minutes in the future of the fake webinar. And we'll see here as we reach the 0 point, it starts the webinar and everything is normal, and this changes to webinar session recording. Gives the real feel and impression that a webinar is really going on, because so much changes occurs as soon as that video starts, quote unquote, live webinar. So jump back here. We have some items here which allow you to customize the color. This is the background color of the webinar. If I click on this and change that to red and click on choose, it automatically updates. I can just click on preview and now it changes this background here to red. You can also modify the halo color and also the border color within the halo. And if you want to send it back to the default that we originally sent with the system, just click on the X here, click on choose, and it'll automatically restore it back to its original condition. To schedule a new event, simply click on new scheduled event, click your start date. Let's start it at, we'll say we start at noon, done. And let's say our video is 26 minutes, we can do 12. Now keep in mind this is military time, so you're going to have to do a little math in your head. So in this case, it's going to be 12:26. And I always like to pad an extra couple seconds, like I said before. just so people are just hanging around doing nothing, then it just closes on them automatically. Click on Done, click on Create Event, and now we've created a brand new webinar, and we can send those people to the registration link. To get the registration link, just grab this page here and send them this link, and they'll come in here and they'll automatically come in here and sign up. Now you see here I actually accidentally set my time that was in the past, so when the registration ends, this is what your customers are going to see. So there is a call to action inside of the registration, because if they don't register in time, they're going to not be able to see your webinar. So it acts just like a real system, like almost like GoToWebinar. To edit at any time, just click on Edit, and you can change those times. Or if you just want to rerun, let's say this one already ran, you could rerun it again, just set it in the future. You don't have to keep creating new scheduled events. It's totally up to you how you want to run it. Next, if you ever get leads inside of your system, just come over here and click on Get Leads. You'll see everybody that's registered for your webinar, and just like on the dashboard page where you've seen all the details about the lead itself, there's some additional information here. It tells you if the person actually attended or not, and you also see how many minutes they actually were on the webinar itself, and if they attended the replay, it shows you how many minutes they watched the replay. So you get some great data here about these customers that are inside of your webinar. This concludes the training on creating the live events for your webinars.